Hello again, welcome back to Jules Watches. And a big thank you to all the people that viewed my last video. I'm sort of up to 160 views, which is the best I've had on one of my videos. So thank you very much for that. Today I thought I'd bring you one of the watches I've had getting on for 3 years now, I think actually. It's been an incredibly popular watch in the industry because particularly of the Panda dial. So this is the Seiko I always get this the wrong way. It's SSC, not SCC. SSC813 solar chronograph, nicknamed the Panda dial, also nicknamed the Seitona, because obviously the resemblance to the classic Rolex Daytona. I think anything with 3 subdials is going to have a kind of resemblance to that Daytona, to be honest. So yeah, there we go. It's a 39mm stainless steel case, 13.3 in depth. It's got a sapphire crystal. Now, unlike some of the cheaper Seiko brands, if you look at the Seiko 5s, even some of the Seiko Presages, not all Seikos had sapphire. So it was quite a big move for Seiko to actually put this on and actually put a sapphire crystal on. Really nice crystal, slightly sort of raised there, but nice and legible. And obviously it's got the fantastic contrast with those baton markers and the black subdials. Now the actual black subdials, if you look, when I glint it in the light there, they're actually sort of a dark blue rather than black. So there is a slight colour mismatch between that and the shiny black tachometer ring. Now, it is quite good. I love the contrast. This is one of my wife's favourite watches, actually. So Mrs. Watches really likes this one. And when I show people my collection, this always seems to be one that stands out. Again, because of that contrast, the classic looks, and also the 39mm case is a very sort of wearable dimension as well. Now, tachymeters. I know absolutely naff all about what a tachymeter does. It's something to do with the chronograph, and you can distance and time and fuel consumption or something like that. Now, I don't know if you're like me, but I can't remember the last time I went up in a 1930s biplane and had no modern technology on my plane and needed a chronograph watch with a tachymeter to measure how much fuel I was using or what direction I was going or whatever. I don't really know. Don't really care. It looks really cool. It's a lovely shiny gloss black with a nice bright white numerals on it. It just adds to the overall contrast and overall look of the watch. Right, so some of the features. It is a solar. So it's a solar powered quartz movement from Seiko. I don't know on the reliability. I've got a couple of Citizen Eco drives that have been very reliable and very good. But this one seems to hold its charge very well and charge up very quick under whatever light you put it under. So that's one plus. And also when you press the chronograph buttons, it does give you, and as you can see slightly there in the 6 o'clock dial, if I can get focus in, there's an E and an F. Empty and full. So it gives you an idea of how much charge is actually in the phone. Now, in terms of the overall case structure, got lovely sort of polished sides. Not fantastic, not super bright in terms of the polishing. A very straightforward transition there between these sort of very lightly brushed edges on the top of the case. And it's just a straightforward sort of cut transition rather than having some sort of beveled edge or whatever. But again, you get what you pay for. On the other side, you've got the pushers, and you've got, rather boring really for a watch in this sort of mid-tier price bracket, your push-pull crown, decent size, so it helps adjust in and obviously not winding because it's solar. So decent size in terms of knurling on it, push-pull crown, 100 metres of water resistance, but there's no signature on the crown. Come on, Seiko. Lots of cheaper brands can put the little logo on there. All you got to do is an S. S for Seiko. That's all you had to do. But anyway, lots of other specs on it are very good. And now, downsides of this, in terms of the pushers, for a chronograph, the pushers don't really give you an awful lot of resistance. So you start it off, and it's a bit sort of mushy. Rather than getting, I've got a couple of column wheel proper mechanical chronographs, and even some of the VK63. Is it VK63? Tell me off in the comments if I've got that wrong. The Mecha Quartz movements from Seiko as well, where you get a bit more of a crunch when you press the button. Quite cool thing though is when you press the reset, you got that lovely sweep back to the 12 o'clock position there. Also, when you are running the chronograph, the second hand runs a nice smooth sweep rather than a quartz tick. So that's quite nice. Anyway, I'm not going to go too much into reading chronographs because most people aren't flying biplanes or timing sports events. Like me, you're probably using it to time how long your potatoes cook or to boil an egg. So all you need is 3 minutes and there you go. So plus size, and now some of the plus size, the contrast I said on the lens is fantastic. I'm coming up to 5 minutes, so I better wrap this up. I think it's too long. One thing, again, if I can get this in with my wobbly hand, is the battens, the actual marker battens, sort of multifaceted battens. So you probably can't see it from this angle, but they do catch the light. And the fact that they're applied indices rather than printed gives you a bit more sort of a dynamic and sort of contrasting look, which makes this watch stand out for the price point. It looks far more expensive than it is. It's a lovely watch. And again, and you can see by the scratches on it and the wear on it, and also from the clasp, you can see sort of effects of desk diving there or table diving when I'm playing crib. It's scratched up a bit. Clasp itself and the bracelet, unlike a lot of the lower end Seiko stuff, this is actually really good. It's got a nice chunky bracelet, polished on the sides, brushed on the front. Actually got a milled clasp, which is quite nice. Locking mechanism there, push button mechanism. It's got 2 points of micro adjustment, which isn't fantastic. But again, as watches move on, people seem to be banging on about it's got on-the-fly adjustment. It's got 5 points of micro adjustment. Oh, so I wouldn't bother buying a watch unless it had a 3-point safety clasp and 6 points of micro adjustment, because that just wouldn't do. What did we used to do? You used to adjust the bracelet and leave it as it is. If you got a bit fatter during the day, it'd get a bit tight. But now people do want more and more and more. But to be honest, it fits nice. It fits lovely on the wrist, and because of the 39mm wearing dimensions, it's you don't really feel it when it's on, but it does show. It has got a bit of presence. So there we go. That is the Seiko SSC813 Panda dial. Solar chronograph. One of my favourite watches. It gets worn an awful lot, and it's a lovely watch to have in a collection. I can't see me parting with this. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Again, the last video got 160 odd views. I'm not going to bully you like all the other YouTube channels into liking and subscribing, because that's up to you. You do it if you want. But a comment would be nice, just to give me some either positive or negative feedback. Tell me what I'm doing right. Tell me what I'm doing wrong. And hopefully I'll carry on ploughing through my watch collection and bringing you more of my lovely watches. Thanks very much for watching. See you soon.